We have a rivalry that dates all the way back to the 50s. It's the battle on the Bayou. Welcome to my UL Monroe Warhawks Dynasty on College Football 25, everyone. In the last game, the Warhawks made a statement in their win over number 13 ranked Kansas State. We played a near perfect game on both sides of the ball, no turnovers on offense while forcing multiple on defense. But the one area that I would say needs work is our run game. Still trying to get to know these new guys, but there is a lot of potential, especially with Kurt Sorensen, who led the way for us receiving as our RB2. He'll be splitting carries with Emmanuel Canada, but Sorensen was my favorite last week for sure. But I want to try putting him out in the slot so that we can have both of our good running backs on the field at the same time. The Raging Cajuns only have one real star on their roster, but they still are one of the best teams in their conference. Elijah Davis is their only player above an 85 overall, and he looks really good. I'm not seeing a weakness from him, so our game plan needs to revolve around shutting him down, but that will not be easy. And we're going to have a small recruiting update here before the game. We will get another after the game as well, but for now I wanted to highlight 5-star QB Alan Clem out of Texas. He's jumped up my board with his size and speed and his abilities as well. I just added him to the board, so he hasn't shown interest yet in us. And he only has one offer right now, so I definitely want to throw one his way. And real quick, I wanted to say the video that comes out after this one is going to be a big one. I decided to throw the rest of the season all together for one big video since College Football 26 is coming out in less than 2 weeks, and I wanted to get started on that game immediately. So I am trying to get through this season much faster than I have in the past. So go ahead and subscribe. I do not think you will regret it. So we are going to get started here today on defense, it looks like. The Raging Cajuns are not going to have great starting field position. They're going to have to go 87 yards to get their first points of the day. Leading them on offense is quarterback Daniel Beal. He's going to get started with a big pass to his tight end. That's Caden Jensen with a gain of 25. Now from the 39, Beal's got some pressure from this left side. That's Josh Lehman picking up the first sack for the Warhawks today. This defense always packs a sack lunch. 2nd and 17 here. Pocket collapsing all around him, and Beal is sacked for a second straight play. This time it's Eduardo DeMarco, freshman defensive end. Beal is spreading us out here with the 5-wide set. The Warhawks are pressing here, and Beal's taking a shot for Elijah Davis, who gets behind the secondary, and it doesn't look like we have the speed to catch him. He goes all the way for 6 on a 3rd and 31. Even in cover 4, we somehow give that up. I immediately started scouting some more safeties after this game. I had them on the board already, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. But here's 4-star Legend Wood out of Hawaii. He seemed like a really good safety. I just don't understand how they got behind everybody, or how he got behind everybody in a cover 4. It's like our safety Ron Shaw just stopped moving. Anyway, I'm going to stop complaining. And we get the ball first on offense. We also don't get good starting field position at the 17. Quick pass over the middle to CJ Nelson is complete. So very similar starts for both offenses. Now, completion over the middle to the tight end. That's Ernie Benchwall getting a gain of 9. Canada speeding out right, and he's gonna pick up the first down, but there's a penalty down at the back end of the play for some reason. It was holding, so we have to back up, and here looking for Josh Kiernan. Proctor threw it into double coverage and picked off by Philip Ekuban. I shouldn't have thrown this ball, but I had pressure coming in my face, and I thought that he was going to have the speed to get away from him, but once he bumped into either his receiver or the defender, it slowed him down, and it caused me to throw a pick. But now the Raging Cajuns are going to come out here on 4th and 5, having to bring out their special teams. And JT Living's kick is good. So they were going to go up 10-0, but there's another penalty on the Warhawks. I don't have roughing the kicker turned off, so we get called with it there. And now the Raging Cajuns are at the 7-yard line knocking on the door. But our defense is really good in the red zone. It is 3rd and goal now. We need one more stop here, and pressure from the interior. There's Eduardo DeMarco. Bringing out JT Livings again. And this time it is good. There was a time when I wanted JT Livings to be my kicker, but the Raging Cajuns took him from me. Start of the second quarter here, we got a change on the D-line, bringing in the 4-star Thomas Pete, who has spent most of this season redshirted. And there's George Bald, another freshman who has not been redshirted. Nice TFL from him. And now Beal feeling some pressure from his blind side. There's Jackson Howard picking up his first sack of the game. Lots of speed coming off that edge there. He's going to be making lots of plays on Sundays, I feel. It is 3rd down and 21. We cannot let up another big 3rd down, and thankfully, Beal just throws that one away. It's 3rd down and 5 on our next drive. Proctor's trying to get something going here, but Kurt Sorensen can't hang on through the contact, and we have to punt it away. Our offense has been struggling today, and it looks like our defense is going to struggle on this play as well. Jeff Higdon flying down, finally brought down by Quinton Ford. And the big plays have been killing us so far today. But here in the red zone, we don't have a lot of field behind us, so we're able to do a lot more. And there's Jackson Howard with another big play. They kick the field goal to go up 13-0. We hand off to Kurt Sorensen, who puts on a move. Nice gain of 17 from the freshman. He'll check out here on this play. Now looking for another freshman. Here's Josh Kiernan down the sidelines, and he's gonna, no, I thought he was gonna score. But brought down at the 1. We hand off to Kurt Sorensen on the next play though, and he'll cap off the drive for Kiernan. And we finally get on the board. Should not have taken us that long. We are a top 5 team, and we did not score until 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. 1st and 10 from the 34. The Raging Cajuns got it up by 6. They're going to hand it off to Elijah Davis on this one. Hit hard by Emmanuel Okonkwo, our best cornerback. 2nd down and 3 now. Beal's going to take a shot down the sideline and hits him. That's Robert Gwacham with a big gain, and they do get 3. Our red zone defense holds up. On 1st and 10, it looks like we're going to take a shot of our own now, and there's Jeremy Bouchard one-on-one. You're not stopping the 98 speed receiver. And that was on the guy that intercepted us earlier in this game, Philip Ekuban. Blitz coming from the Warhawks and brought down, loss of 10. There's DeAndre Pan. Everybody's getting a sack here today, it looks like. Now on this play, it is a huge run for Davis. Finally brought down, but these big plays, man. Now faking to Davis. Beal has his man open in the soft spot of the defense. Perfect throw from Beal. And now pressure from the inside. Another sack for this defense, man. There's Josh Lehman getting his 2nd. It is 3rd and 14 and just out of JT Living's range. Beal stepping up and finding his man open. And he's going to pick up the block and walk into the end zone. Glenn Ringo extending their lead once more. Devontae Proctor hands this one off to Canada, who sheds a tackle and gets the 1st down. We needed that for sure. Aside of a few big plays, this offense has been very, very dry, and it's going to continue here with a turnover, it looks like. And we aren't going to stop him. He sheds the tackle and gets the pick 6. It is 30-14 all of a sudden. And the Warhawks are going to have to do some amazing things to get back in this game. And it does appear that Proctor's throwing arm is hurt. So we bring in a different quarterback. And it is not the one we've seen before. It's Jim Ogle. We're going to try to get him going with a jet sweep and get him at least a completion, but it's going to lose 4 yards. Now another easy pass. We're going to do a screen pass for Swarrenson. He's going to get some good yardage. Make this third down a lot more manageable. Ogle, screen pass to his wide receiver now. There's Bouchard fighting through all kinds of traffic. I like that play, man, when it does work. Sometimes it's the worst play in the game. Now outside throw. Here's a good catch from Kiernan. Now 2nd down and 14. We do not have Proctor out there yet. He's still riding the bench for a moment. Here's a good catch and run by Canada. Got a good block from his receiver. Ogle's looking good so far. Spreading them out 5 wide. Pressure coming, but he's going to find his man in the end zone. It's Bouchard who's going to score again. Keeping us in this game is Bouchard. He is doing his best out there. And I thought they scored 30, but it is actually 21-29. And no Proctor. Ogle is still out there. We hand it off to Canada. He's going to get what he can. A nice little gain of 5. Hasn't been very active today. He'll get his name called again on 3rd down and stuffed. And we do draw a man offsides on 3rd down, and we pick up the 1st down anyways. Good hands by Daniel Harrell, the backup tight end. 2nd down and 9. Here's Daniel Fehoko, the 3rd string running back. Or Dylan Fehoko, excuse me. Lots of Daniels today. 3rd down and 9. And this pass was almost intercepted again for us. Gotta be more careful. We skip in here a little bit on the next drive for the Raging Cajuns. They hand off to Davis on the outside, and he's got another good game. We have not had an answer for him today. 2nd down and 10 here, and Ringo is going to get a catch. It's 3rd down and 3 now. Almost intercepted by the freshman Matt Henry. Luckily, it wasn't for them. So it is a 1st down and 10 for them instead. And now Elijah Davis with another big gain on the ground. He even had the big touchdown earlier through the air. There's just no one that can seem to stop him. A gain of 8 on 1st down brings up 2nd and 2. And Beal rolling to his right. Man wide open and falls into the end zone. There's Caden Jensen. Haven't said his name in a while, but he gets 6 right there. Now down by 2 possessions again, and here's a wild pass from Proctor on 1st down. Don't like to see that. He is back in the game, though. Here's a good one underneath to Kiernan. He's going to get the 1st down. Spread them out 5 wide. Proctor underneath, finding Kiernan again on a drag route. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We call some hurry up of our own. They have been doing it all day to us. And here's yet another drag route. I mean, they're letting it happen underneath, so I'm going to keep calling it. And we go into the 4th quarter with a interesting stat line, not one that I am used to seeing. Getting outplayed by the Raging Cajuns quarterback. Here's a deep shot for Bouchard once more, and how about a 3-piece for him? When in doubt, just chuck it up to him. He's probably down there wide open. So we're only down by 8 now, and here's number 88 somehow weaving his way through our defense and getting a nice gain and a 1st down. Screen pass out right. Here's Ringo. Not Ringo, that's Watcham. He had the big gain earlier. From the 43, Beal fakes this one to Davis. And maybe he should have gave it to him. Here's a sack from our player that I have not called a lot this year. That was Byrne. 3rd and 16 now. Beal's got pressure from all sides, and that is number 7. And they haven't had a first one today. But we can't do anything with it. They get the ball back, and they're not able to do anything with it on 2nd down. Just 3rd down and 12. We send the heat, and thankfully, this pass was overthrown because Kelly Jones did leave that play open. They got to punt it away to Lloyd LaFell, the elite dev wide receiver. Doesn't get anything going. That's usually how it goes on my punt returns. Here's Emmanuel Canada on the stretch play. He's got a good game. Haven't seen much of it in our run game today. Haven't seen much of our run game today. It's 3rd down and 14 to Kiernan. And that was actually a good play. It's going to make this 4th down a lot more doable. 4th down and 5, going in Kiernan's way, and he has been getting a lot of volume, and he's going to have -19 speed, so he's got to check out here. Devontae Proctor rolling out to his left, not seeing anything he liked downfield. Thankfully, he was able to make something happen with his legs. Here comes Swanson in motion here on the jet sweep, and he is going to lose yards. 3rd down and 15. Down by 8. Proctor spreading them out here 5 wide. Here's our favorite play, and it's going to our favorite guy, Jeremy Bouchard. Where would we be today without this man? It seems like every time we need a big play, he's the guy. We did try to go for 2 to tie it up, but it was not good. So we are still down by 2. And look at this big play on special teams from Kurt Sorensen, stopping them at the 11. 2nd down and 9 here, but they're going to get a nice little catch to make it a bit more manageable to their tight end, Caden Jensen. And now pressure from the Warhawks. That was a really good play. We needed that. We needed to get the ball back to our offense, and our defense did exactly that. We still have all 3 timeouts, only down by 2 points. And we have a chance to win this with 3. But we can't do it if I keep throwing passes like that. That was almost intercepted again. 2nd down and 10 now. Proctor rolling out to his left, rerouting his man. There's Swanson, hangs on to it, and speeding out of bounds, trying to save those timeouts. I thought that ball was overthrown, but Swanson makes a heck of a play. And now we have a chance to just run this ball out and kick a field goal. That is the plan, at least. Now Fayoka will come in, giving Canada a breather. And the Raging Cajuns have to call a timeout. Their first. And Canada will pick up a 1st down now, so their timeouts are pretty much useless at this point. We can run the clock down as much as we want, I feel like. Proctor going to keep this one and run into all kinds of contact. That might not be what I want to do. Don't want to fumble here in the red zone. 2nd and goal, trying to bring a man in motion, figure out what they're running. And we're going to just keep this one on the ground to Canada. 3rd down and 7 here. We're going to the air, actually. And in the end zone, there is C.J. Nelson. Haven't called his name today, but he will put us ahead for the first time in this game. 41-36 now with only 10 seconds to go, and they have no timeouts. Forcing them to return this. They're not going to have good field position. Starting from the 19-yard line, they maybe have 2 plays if they can play a quick sideline throw. And they're going to try it, but he just throws it out of bounds, actually. So one final play here for the Raging Cajuns to try and get ahead of us. But DeAndre Pan has different plans. He's going to end this rivalry game with a strip sack fumble in his 20th at that. Or not career strip sack fumble, but just his 20th career sack. This was a really interesting game. Like, when I scheduled them, I did not expect a Sun Belt team to be giving me this much trouble. But I mean, it's a rivalry, so I guess it makes sense that they played as hard as they did. I know that games like that, big time games, rivalries and all of that, all played differently than regular games. And this one was a lot of fun. The interceptions weren't, but how about 7 catches, 193 yards, 4 touchdowns for Jeremy Bouchard. I don't know what this game would have looked like without him. It could have been a very bad blowout. Daniel Beal was very good. Almost 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Proctor, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And Ogle had 1 touchdown, completed 85% of his passes, 78 yards. He got the job done. We, of course, gave up a ton of rush yards and didn't have the best running game. A lot better than last week, I'd say. Averaged 4.6 yards a carry. But the big plays, man, look at that. Long of 25, long of 37, 55, 62, 82. The big plays absolutely killed us today. But in the end, we did get the win and 2 National Player of the Week awards. It looks like our next opponents is Stanford, and they have not had a good start to their season. They were ranked to begin their season, but after an 0-2 start falling to TCU in their last game, they're not looking too hot. Their quarterback has thrown 2 picks, only 5 touchdowns, and their running back, 1 touchdown, 3 fumbles. That is a recipe for disaster. So I'm excited for this to be our first ACC game. Next video, like I said in the beginning of this one, will be a huge video containing the rest of the regular season, as I want this series to wrap up before starting anything with College Football 26. I'll be covering mostly the big moments of the games while still telling the story of this team, which I think will be fun to test out, as I haven't done a full season since the very first of this series. I think I want to do a few videos with that format instead of doing 1 game per video, or maybe do what I did for season 2, have 1 main game as well as a game of highlights. Let me know what you prefer down in a comment below. And now we're going to get into that recruiting update that I did promise at the beginning. We are leading on so many 5 and 4 stars right now. Rylan Ornstein is probably my favorite. 94 speed, 88 trucking, 87 brake tackle, 89 strength, and he also has gold armbar, head first ability. Like, I really want him to come to this team, man. Alan Clem, we do jump up to 2nd on his board, and Legend Wood, he is going to be moved up. I scouted him at the beginning of the video. I do offer him a scholarship, and I'm going to throw a bunch of points into him as soon as I can. I can only do about 35 right now, but I do want to put 60 on him eventually. That will pretty much wrap this one up. If you haven't already, please drop a like and subscribe. Lots more Dynasty content coming your way soon.